Good morning, patriots and freedom-loving Americans. Welcome back to the finish line. We're going to have a short episode today, but I have some interesting plans for next week. We're going to kick things into higher gear. We're going to step things up a little bit. And I won't tell you now, but I think you'll want to tune in. This week might have been a little boring. I had some stuff going on in my life. And yeah, there's going to be some changes. There's going to be some serious changes next week, so I hope you'll stick around for that. Anyway, today we have a lot of news about the Iran war that's happened in the last couple days. First of all, Mr. Tough Guy, Donald Trump, is lifting sanctions off of all of Iran's oil due to the crazy price hikes that are going on. So what are sanctions? Sanctions can refer to a bunch of different things. Trade bans, like blocking imports, exports, cutting off a country from banks or dollar transactions. Those are called financial sanctions. Asset freezes, so that's taking money or property that a country holds abroad. And individual sanctions, which is just targeting specific leaders and companies. Our sanctions on Iran limit their ability to sell oil around the world and restrict who could buy that oil. And it also penalizes countries and companies that try to do business with Iran. So that kind of seems like the way to create permanent enemies that want you dead. But no. We're completely justified in doing that, right? No, but Trump has lifted them in the middle of a war with the country so that our gas prices go down, which is great. I'm glad our gas prices are going to go down a little bit, but very, very, very interesting strategy in the middle of a war. Anyway, in other news, I think you might have heard of the Israeli gas field strike. So Israel, out of anger, in the middle of the night, without telling anybody, did these airstrikes on Iran's South Pars gas field. And it is the largest natural gas field in the world, and it supplies most of Iran's energy. It powers electricity, fuels industry. This is serious economic warfare. Before that point, they'd been targeting military points and bases and whatnot. So this was really escalating this and past even where Trump wanted it to be. He said, I didn't even know about Israel deciding to do this. And shows really who's leading them around in the war. Israel's the one that is just going 100% full throttle at it, thinking that Big Brother, United States, is going to step in and save the day for them, which we do, and that really needs to end. And also think about how much gas prices are going to spike after that. Iran has a bunch of our energy, and then with this disruption, it's going to go even higher. And of course, Trump's taken no action really to reprimand Israel except for a Truth Social little message out there. So yeah, it's just getting clearer and clearer who's really running this operation. All right, and the War Powers resolution was shot down in Congress, 53-47. Congress members were trying to restrain Donald Trump from, being the sole one prosecuting this war. And they were trying to bring the powers back to Congress, which of course is what the Constitution says. Because if you have one man in control of conducting a war, starting a war, that doesn't lead anywhere very good, because that is one man's decision you are putting trust in to start a conflict that will lose lives. The point that the Constitution was making is that something like a war, calling the military into session, needs to be about representation. Do the people of the country want that to happen? And so representatives from all around get to debate this out, hash this out, and come to a vote and decide it. It is not a one man's prerogative to be able to send troops into a foreign country. Interesting how they voted. There was only one Republican defection from, not backing Trump, and only one Democrat defection that came over and backed Trump. So the one Republican was Rand Paul, an amazing senator and a strict constitutionalist, and the one Democrat, John Fetterman. Now, John Fetterman has kind of been the media's darling lately, right-wing media that is, because he's really pro-Israel and really pro this Iran war. And he's starting to get a lot of support from the Republicans. They're starting to like this guy. He was on Sean Hannity's podcast the other day, and it's awful. So while everyone's busy attacking the actual conservatives, Rand Paul, Thomas Massie in the House, they're bringing in this fat fuck who believes in abortion until literally the baby is coming out of the birth canal to be like, oh, now we're bringing him into our side and he should no, what are you doing? No, he is not a conservative. This is not a conservative war. And the Republican Party is committing suicide by doing this. This isn't popular. John Fetterman isn't popular. He's not going to help you appeal to Democrats. The Democrats hate him. They hate Trump. They hate anything Trump does. They don't even have principles. But bringing John Fetterman into the fold and buddying up with him isn't going to help us at all. Because true Republicans like me don't like this guy. He doesn't stand for anything that I like. Except, at all. And Democrats hate this guy because he's defecting over to buddy up with the Republicans. The Democrats have been pro-Israel for a long time, but now they recognize that they can't win elections that way. So they're trying to tone down the liking Israel thing. And Republicans aren't getting the memo. Democrats want to disassociate with people like Fetterman as much as possible. Same with Gavin Newsom. If they run Gavin Newsom, he could. Have you seen his answer when he was pressed on AIPAC? He said that's interesting. I haven't thought about that. That's interesting 35 times. He didn't even answer the fucking question. If the Democrats run somebody like Fetterman or Gavin Newsom or even Kamala Harris, they're guaranteed to fail. Because the base of the Democrats have realized that we're not for Zionism. And so have the base of the Republican Party. But the Republicans in Congress haven't caught on to that yet. And they're parading Fetterman around, being look, we got one for, now we can appeal to Democrats. No, I don't even understand the strategy. You're pushing out the base of the Republican Party and bringing in the worst possible establishment Democrat. The strategy on elections for the Republican Party just amazes me. I really don't understand the thought process here. Republicans performed so strong in 2024 because of Trump. When Trump campaigned, he wasn't talking like he is now. We were talking mass deportations, tariffs, cut taxes. We were talking about America first. Those were things that resonated with the hardworking blue-collar and even white-collar people of America, the heartland. That was the base of America, the common man. They resonated with that. Kamala Harris was completely out of touch, the San Francisco liberal, obsessed with abortion, trans issues, was a Zionist, an interventionist in foreign policy. You could tell she hates America every time she talks. The election showed that the American people don't want that. So it's just puzzling to me that the Republicans are acting more establishment. And so are the Democrats too, which is stupid, but I hope they run someone like Fetterman or Gavin Newsom, because it would be a guaranteed failure. But look, Trump could turn this around right now. Get out of Iran, come out and say that, Israel is done leading the United States. His base would go crazy. I think he should redirect the troops into Central America, fight the cartels, keep the mass deportations going, just really energize that base. When Steve Bannon was Trump's campaign manager, they knew how to energize the base. And Trump has lost that because he's talking to Lindsey Graham. So I think that our chances in the midterms are just completely evaporated. There's no way. But 2028, I think we should run Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie, this insurgent conservative that can appeal to the base. It will be a hard fight. It'll be a hard fight. But if he can win the nomination, and I know the odds of this are not very high, but Trump did it. Did anyone ever think that Trump would be able to win the Republican nomination? The establishment hated him, and now Trump is the establishment. So that would be quite interesting. And what he could do once he wins the nomination is pivot and say, we're no longer the Republican Party, we're the National Union Party. This is what Abraham Lincoln did in 1864. Thomas Massie has a cross-the-board appeal because there are issues that Democrats, are the base of Democrats, I should say, are starting to strongly believe in, like release the files, government transparency. There's a lot of Democrats that are starting to be America first. He can bring this cross-the-board appeal, I am the one for the people, and he can show his record. He's the real deal because of the things that he's voted for and against. Show that he's principled. I don't know. That might have sounded like a lot of gibberish. I was getting my thoughts together. But, just something to think about. I'm really trying to think about what our strategy should be in 2028. And, our movement is young. It's young people. I don't think we're going to gain traction for a while. I don't think we're going to have really any real influence in 2028, to be honest. But it's something to think about. And we got to think about what our strategy will be going into this election cycle after that and the election cycle after that. But anyway, thank you for the short episode. As I said, things are going to get a lot more serious next week, and I'm excited to begin rolling that out. So thanks for watching, and have a good one.